Hi, my name is Joana Faria. I'm an illustrator. I live in Portugal, and my website is www.atelierjoanafaria.com. And yeah, that's it. I love drawing. It's my life.
You studied photography at Goldsmiths in London, and you're now an art director in Portugal. What sort of made you decide to start pursuing illustration when you haven't particularly been trained in it?
I've been drawing my whole life. I was born in Brazil, and I always used to draw in Brazil. I remember having this really close group of girlfriends, and I always used to draw them and try to put little characteristics that belong to my friends into the drawings. I do think my girls are quite unique. They have these big heads and big eyes and big hair. Yeah, I mostly use ink, pen, black markers on paper, and then I start building around the girl and putting in as much details as I want. I love that process. I think it's almost therapeutic. It's one of those things that if I'm drawing, I'm completely inside the drawing, and I just out of this world. I stopped doing that for a while. I went to university, I studied photography, and then I went to work in advertising agencies. I've worked in advertising for about 10 years. I started in London, and then I moved to Portugal. And then it wasn't until recently that I rediscovered the joy of drawing. I was going to go to Brazil on holiday for my 30th birthday, and then I made drawings of my friends, and then I couldn't stop. The fashion scene in Portugal is very, very tiny, really small. It doesn't compare to London, and it doesn't compare to São Paulo. There are a couple of good designers, and there are a few designers who show in Paris as well. But overall over here is still developing.
So how important for you is it then to make connections in terms of fashion illustration and stuff in the UK?
I definitely think the UK's it will give me a lot more opportunities than Portugal to work as a fashion illustrator. I was just browsing through, having a look at some blogs, and I saw you actually. I think something clicked, and I thought, why don't I try to get some work in London? And I'm an illustrator. It means that I can do anything from everywhere in the world. So I can work from here and then just send you my pieces. And illustration here is very small as well, although they're brilliant illustrators. Brilliant people, but it is quite limited. So I guess I would have more opportunities in a bigger place like London. It's really important to be online. Well, first because people get to see your work. Because if you don't put it online, then chances are very few people are going to see it. So it's crucial that people see what you're doing. And also, ever since I got online, ever since I got on Twitter, I just feel more part of the creative community, and I got to see, I got to take part in loads of competitions and different assignments that otherwise, if I wasn't online, I would never have known about them. There was one particular that I loved, and I just found recently that I was published, was for the Hello You Creative newspaper. I saw a quick post on Twitter, and they were saying, oh, if you're an illustrator, submit some pieces, and we'll see if we're going to get you published, and etc. And I thought, okay, why not? I'm going to submit something. It took me completely by surprise. I saw it on Facebook. I saw a picture of a guy holding the paper, and there was my illustration there. And that was fantastic. I really loved it. So yeah, it's one of those things that only happens if you're online. If you're not, it's not going to happen. And it's just a shame to miss this kind of opportunity.
And how has been working with Amelia's magazine over London Fashion Week and stuff, and contributing to the blog, how has that helped sort of develop the fashion illustration side of what you're doing?
When I was drawing for London Fashion Week, I had to really make sure I focused on the clothes that my girls were wearing. It was great. I loved the challenge. It was brilliant.
In terms of sort of ethical design, what is your feeling on how that might be happening in Portugal?
I have never heard of ethical fashion until I started working at Amelia's magazine. And I love the idea. I think it's fantastic. Fashion designers in fashion have a big influence in our lives, have a big presence. We always want to know what they're saying, what the fashion designers are saying. And I guess ethical designers are able to use that voice more wisely. Everyone should be able to make wise choices when they buy clothes.